My experience with Anamkara retreats was unlike anything I've experienced before. And for me, the part of my healing process that I had been searching for or missing was a great feeling of safety, to be able to sort of explore the depths of my trauma or the things that I needed to address. And I think I was really given an opportunity here to be placed in a safe enough container to explore those parts of me. And Francesca said a great quote while we were here, and this is just one of her many bits of wisdom that she shares throughout that really add to the profound nature of the experience, that a healer is basically a person who provides such a safe container that you remember you can heal yourself. And prior to this experience, especially throughout my more recent journey, I had always been looking for something externally to help. Whether that was therapy or even substances that I thought could fix things. And what I was shown here that was truly different and groundbreaking for me in my process was that I'm the one who heals myself. And I don't think I would have been able to come to that conclusion or have that epiphany without the container that Niels and Francesca provided at this retreat. I came here specifically because I had reached a plateau, not only with my healing process, but I think just with self-development as a whole. I think I got to a point where I needed to do something that was a little bit more drastically different and put myself in a space that was outside of my comfort zone and trying something new. And along with coming to these beautiful locations in Peru that Francesca and Niels find, there's also sort of an element of excitement and play that I think is really important to integrate into your healing process and your self-development process in order to really kind of get to the next level. And that was something else that I think Niels and Francesca did really well. They add this lightness to the process because you're addressing some really heavy content in your life. And it's important to put into perspective that part of, overcoming challenges and developing as a human is also having a lightness about yourself and not taking things too seriously and really realizing you only have one short life to live and you might as well try something new. And when you find people that allow you to be yourself and feel safe and explore, your psyche, that it's just the best opportunity you could have to do that. I think Niels and Francesca excel in an incredible way in terms of their facilitation skills. I have participated in lots of, various different types of retreats. And one of the things that really stood out to me about both of them was their ability to adapt and be flexible with really any situation that came up. There's a lot of dynamic people, personalities, and situations here. And the ways that they supported people and handled some of those more complicating dynamics were really something that I honestly aspire to be able to do as well. I think that they're incredible with their language as well, which I think is really important. And language is difficult. It's hard to put words to experiences that are so otherworldly and profound. And the way that they are able to use language to just beautifully and clearly express their own experience allows people to kind of further understand their own. I know that if I didn't have somebody who was as experienced as Niels, for example, talking me through some of, the things that I went through, I wouldn't have really been able to understand what the messaging was or what I was trying to be taught or process it in an effective way, because some of this work can be really confronting. And as much as the medicine is important, it's also important to have someone there to talk you through what's happening. one of the things that I think made the retreat so effective for me was how safe I felt. I think there's a lot of skills that Niels and Francesca have developed in order to create containers that really allow people to dive deep. This was my first time in South America and first time in Peru. And there's, a little bit of fear associated with doing something new all the time, I think. And that's also part of it. Part of having a profound experience is doing things you've never done before and getting outside of your comfort zone. And I would not have been able to do it had I not been talked through the process. And Francesca, just her compassion and empathy, even in the weeks and months leading up to this, were really incredible. There were so many times that I tried to talk myself out of it, just thinking, travel complications and how the risky nature of things. And they really do practice what they preach in terms of feeling safe and knowing that they hold themselves well. And I think that when you're around people who experience it themselves, it brings it out in you. And if I hadn't been talked through, everything from Lima Airport to the language spoken here to the type of food that would be available to where the currency exchange was, if I hadn't received all that support from them, it would have been even scarier. But they really do know their stuff, not just in terms of the medicine or facilitating retreats, but just like in life. I would find myself asking questions about well, what if this happens at the airport? And, they've traveled so much that they were like, okay, well, one step at a time. And there was never a feeling of being alone. There was always a feeling that no matter what situation I or my group got ourselves into, inside or outside the retreat center, Niels and Francesca would figure it out. And we would all do it together. I plan on returning to Anamkara retreats. One of my goals was to try and develop flexibility around my healing journey, but I'm pretty set in the idea that if I were to have another experience like this, I would only do it with Francesca and Niels again. It's really, really special what they put together. The resources that they have are also really incredible. I would recommend this to really anybody, regardless of, your experience with different healing modalities or how far you are in your healing process. There's space for everyone at every point in their journey to be able to experience something profound and to be included in this radically loving way. And I would suggest that everybody give it a try. And I know that my journey, especially with some of these modalities, is only beginning. And I hope that Francesca and Niels can continue to guide me, and I can continue to be a part of their journey as well, because we're all in this together.